Hey guys, we're here at the airport in Montreal. We're getting ready to board our flight to Toronto, so we thought this would be the perfect place for us to sit down and give you guys the overall review of this 2-day festival, Heavy Montreal 2019. Absolutely epic festival. Let's start with day one. That was Saturday. Let's just talk about the highlights. We're not going to go through all the bands or all the things that happened, but let's just concentrate on the highlights. Where were some of the highlights for you of day one?
Hatebreed, because definitely Hatebreed, and Korpiklaani.
Hatebreed was the only band that we actually went into the mosh pit for, and it was, to say that it was epic, I think it's an understatement. I got a deep tissue massage during that pit. I think we barely survived. Like, it was absolutely insanity in the pit. It's the second time we see Hatebreed. The first time we see it from the pit, and it's a completely different experience. Completely different experience. To me, one of the highlights from the day was also Galactic Empire. They were really good. They were the first band of the day. They were really good. There was
I feel bad though, because it was very hot.
Very hot, and they have all that gear on them. I like the fact that they brought out an inflatable Death Star that they threw into the crowd, and then there was a funny moment because that Death Star fell into the camera pit, and the security guard kicked it, and it hit the guitar player. It hit Darth Vader, and like it messed up the guitar. Like, he's playing and it hit it, and it kind of gave some feedback. So the Darth Vader gave the finger to the security guard. I thought that was hilarious. Like, I thought that was really funny. So that was definitely, those two bands were definitely highlights for me as well from day one. What about Korpiklaani? First time seeing Korpiklaani. What did you think?
Django with
Yeah, hype man.
The best hype man.
Yeah, he's the best hype man, absolutely. What did you think of their show? They had a small set, 30 minutes.
It was really good. They hyped up the crowd really nice, and they were, joking with the crowd the whole time. So.
Yeah, I thought they were really good live band. They had some technical issues with their sound and stuff, but it was really enjoyable to see Korpiklaani. Perhaps one of the bands that I was looking forward the most from day one was Carnifex. They have a new album coming out August 2nd, World War X, and I was really hyped to see them. They also had some guitar issues. Man, the guitar player was so pissed off. He threw the guitar down, like he just body slammed the guitar on the ground. Like, he was so pissed off that they were having issues. Not all of their crew made it up to Montreal. They had some border issues, so they were missing a couple of guys. But seeing Carnifex live, they also had a short set, right?
Yeah.
They played half an hour, I think. But it was really cool.
Well, not half an hour because of the guitar issues.
Yeah, so they even played a little bit less. They played a couple of songs from the new album. They played the two singles, World War X and the song that they did with Alyssa White Gloves. Seeing them was really epic. I missed the Summer Slaughter tour because they were playing in Toronto on Sunday, and Sunday we're still in Montreal. So I missed that, but seeing them live was really cool. We met the guys not backstage, but in the VIP area. We met them at the end of the night. They were having some food. So we got to chit chat with them, thanks to you, because I didn't want to bother them.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, you gotta go say hi. So we went to say hi. So that was definitely another highlight, seeing Carnifex. Harm's Way, they were good as well. They were a good band. We saw those guys as well. But as far as hardcore bands are concerned, I think Hatebreed took the cake for the day. They were by far, I think, even as far as mosh pits are concerned, from all the bands on day one, I think they were the craziest by far. Ghost was the closing band. They were the headliners of day one. What did you think? I mean, it's not the first time we see Ghost, but this is the first time we see them in an outdoor festival. So, anything impressed you, or Ghost is Ghost?
Ghost is Ghost. I mean, they're not gonna disappoint. All right, they're gonna play an amazing show and impress me every time.
Yeah, Ghost is flawless, I think, every time. I really enjoy their set as well. It was the first time seeing them in that kind of environment, playing like outdoor festival, but I really enjoyed it as well. So I don't think the night could have ended up in a better note with Ghost finishing off the night. Then day two is a day that we were really excited about for many reasons. I mean, day two, Beast in Black, first time playing in North America. Skull Mold, first time playing in North America. So those two things were exciting.
We got to interview both.
We got to interview both bands as well, so that was really cool. So the day started off with Mountain Dust, a band from Montreal that we had never heard before. They're a little bit of like stoner rock mixed in with like Western country. I mean, like, it's just a blend of sounds that they have, but really works. I really enjoyed it. The lead singer sounds like Jim Morrison from The Doors, so that was kind of cool. They were the opening band. Then after them, Knocked Loose was playing on the stage right next, so we just stayed where we were because we wanted to be on the rail for Beast in Black.
They weren't.
and then Knocked Loose. That was the first time that I think that was the first time you heard Knocked Loose, right? Like I've heard them before. I'm familiar with them because they played them a lot on Sirius XM. But that was your first time, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Knocked Loose. All I gotta say is, I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of people who are fans of Knocked Loose, but I don't think puberty has hit yet, as far as the vocalist is concerned of Knocked Loose. Either that or he's constantly stepping on Legos. It's either one or the other. But not one of my favorite bands. Having said that, the crowd was absolutely hyped for Knocked Loose. We didn't mention Vatain for day one.
Oh, yeah.
That was absolutely epic as well. Let's just backtrack a little bit. So let me ask you, Vatain. We walked across the venue just to see Vatain. What did you think of Vatain?
They were really good. We didn't finish watching them.
No, because we had to make it to Ghost.
Later on, when we saw some people from Vatain,
People that were in the crowd.
They were full of blood and stuff.
Yeah, they were covered in blood. So Vatain was definitely the opening with all the fire and everything, and then he throws the torch into the pit, like really cool. So I just wanted to backtrack to that. All right, so going into day two, Beast in Black, I think, was the first band of the day that we were really excited to see. Okay, let me put it this way. I was surprised with how many people showed up to see Beast in Black, considering they played really early in the day at 2 o'clock. What did you think of Beast in Black, and did you think of the crowd reception to Beast in Black?
I mean, most people that went for Mountain Dust, they didn't go for Mountain Dust. They just went to wait for Beast in Black.
Yeah, they were just there to get a spot in the front.
So I feel like people were very excited.
People were very excited. People were chanting. People were really excited to see Beast in Black. I was excited to see Beast in Black. They didn't disappoint. They played 40 minutes, I think. Incredible. They had some technical issues on stage. I think everybody had some technical issues on stage, but great performance by Beast in Black. I mean, we got to see a little bit of history on day two. We got to see Beast in Black perform for the first time in North America. We got their set list. Giannis signed it for him. So that was really cool.
We also caught the last. Well, we missed like the first two songs from Skullmold.
Yeah,
but we ended
because of Beast in Black.
Yeah. But then we ended up catching the rest of Skullmold, and they were really good. And I finished with the song that we did, the first song that we did from the orchestra.
Okay, yeah. So Skullmold, the reason, like you said, the reason why we missed it was because Beast in Black finished, and then Skullmold started right after, and they were far apart. The stages were far apart, so we had to walk from one to the other, so it took us some time. But when we got there, Skullmold didn't disappoint. Like, the sound was really good. The crowd was hyped. They had a nice crowd there. So, and we got to meet the guys backstage after. We did an interview with them as well, coming up on the channel. The guys were really cool, really friendly. They gave us a couple of guitar picks. I was really impressed with Skullmold. They were one of the highlights of day two for sure. Then after Skullmold, we catch a little bit of the Great Sabatini. And then we had some stuff to do. We had the two interviews that we did backstage with Giannis and the guys from Skullmold. Then after that, we caught Clutch. I think it was your first time ever hearing a Clutch song. Or like Giannis says, the Clutch. The Clutch. What did you think of Clutch? A little bit southern vibe to it, right? We met the guys from the Agonist. They were there as well during that. And then we discovered that our media passes give us access to the VIP area, which we didn't know until that point. Well, what a way to find out. We find out exactly at the end of the festival that we have access to this gorgeous area with clean washrooms, so we don't have to use the same washrooms as everybody else. But that was cool. We got to hang out with the guys from the Agnes. We became part of their entourage with Giannis as well, so we all got to hang out for the later stages of the festival. That was really cool to hang out with all of those guys. And then we finish off the day with Anthrax and Slayer. Second time for you seeing both bands.
Yeah. You didn't disappoint?
No, Anthrax was epic.
I feel like it was better than last time because, we caught them in a bigger
I agree.
stage and a bigger set.
Yeah, last time we saw Anthrax, we saw them in Toronto at the Budweiser stage.
Yeah.
We were closer, and I think this performance was far better than that performance in Toronto. I agree with you. We walked away from Anthrax at the last song, which was Indians. We walked away so that we could get a nice spot for Slayer, but the stages are kind of side by side, so you can mark your spot for Slayer and still see what's going on with Anthrax. And then as the Anthrax set was finishing, even the band started chanting Slayer, Slayer. That was really cool from Anthrax to do that. And then Slayer comes on as the headliners. Last show ever, at least for now, in Canada. Absolutely incredible. This set was better. I felt maybe not the set, but this performance was far better than when we saw them in Toronto.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind. It was, the crowd was, I don't know, there was this atmosphere in the crowd that people felt that perhaps this was the last time they were seeing Slayer, so you could feel the energy in the crowd. What did you think of Slayer in the crowd and everything?
Everyone was just pushing each other to the front. I feel like we were all like getting on the people in the front, and there was like 3 circle pits.
Yeah, and the only thing I don't know is why they turned on the water. I mean, like, it was late at night. But anyways, because the stages, the two main, well, actually all the stages, they have these sprinkler heads on the side of the stages because it's so hot. They go on and they wet the crowd, and we had really 2 hot days, so those sprinklers came in handy. The only issue is it makes the place extremely muddy.
Yeah.
So it adds another level to the whole circle pit and mosh pit and stuff like that. Slayer was epic. I really enjoyed it. I was hoping that a Children of Borden moment would happen where everybody from the back just, collectively rushes to the front. That didn't happen, but there was a few people just streaming in. There was a wheelchair guy that got picked up in the mosh, and people were carrying the guy on the wheelchair. I thought that was absolutely epic. Slayer didn't disappoint, never disappoints. I mean, I think it's my 6th or 7th time seeing Slayer, so I'm glad that the last 2 times that I've seen Slayer, I've seen it with you, so it's kind of nice to have those moments. And then the show was over.
Yeah.
It was time to head home. Head to the hotel, and that was it. That was our heavy Montreal. Now that we talked about that, I just want to say a few words before we call it a day. I want to say thank you to the Heavy Montreal organization for granting us media credentials for this festival. First time in Montreal for this festival, first time attending Heavy Montreal. They were gracious enough to give us media credentials, give us an opportunity to see a little bit of the behind the scenes. We got to meet so many bands, we got to meet so many people. The people within the organization of Heavy Montreal, super friendly.
Yeah.
Everybody's so nice to us, super friendly. So we want to say a huge thank you to Heavy Montreal and to the organization of the festival for taking care of us, for being nice to us, for granting us the media credentials for this festival. We are extremely thankful. Thank you, and I want to say this. A lot of people save their money to go to Europe for a big time festival. Let me tell you guys, you have a European big time festival here in North America. If you're living outside of Quebec, coming to Quebec, it's almost like traveling to Hellfest, for example, because people speak French, they also speak English, so it gives you the flexibility that if you don't speak French, at least people speak English as well. But when you come to Montreal, when you come to this festival, you really feel like you're stepping outside of North America, because the bands that this is a real heavy metal festival. It's not like one of those where you get, some hard rock and rock. I mean, you still get a few of those, but this is a heavy metal festival, and I really feel like Heavy Montreal gives you a chance to attend an European festival in North America. Look at the bands that they had here. They had really big names from Europe: Beast and Black, Skull Mold, Vatane, Ghost, and then they had the North American bands like Killswitch Engage, In This Moment, Clutch, Slayer, Anthrax. So I feel that this festival in North America is perhaps the only one that allows you to have a European feel without leaving North America. So if you want to experience an European festival, but you can't afford to go to Europe because it's expensive, airfare, hotels, all of that stuff, but you want to have that European festival feel, come to Heavy Montreal. I really feel like you're going to walk away feeling like you were not in North America, you were rather in somewhere in Europe watching a great festival. This festival has that atmosphere, has that vibe. Great organization. The way the sets were located, you could easily walk from one to the other. If you were anywhere in between the 2 main stages, you could see them both because they were placed in a way where you could actually see them both. They had water stations. They had like tons of portables. They had bank. Like I don't think anybody can complain about anything surrounding this festival. If you needed water, if you needed to use the toilets, everything was super accessible. Security was friendly. Everybody was super friendly, super nice. Once again, thank you to Heavy Montreal. And if you guys out there watching want to have a European festival experience, I say this again: come to Heavy Montreal. Come to Montreal. You're not going to be disappointed. All right? That's it, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Check us out on the next video and take care. See ya.
See ya.